What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Eric and we are Ryden Dirty. In today's episode, we're gonna put these tapered forks onto this non-tapered frame. To upgrade my forks on my black market kill switch back here, and I haven't been able to find the right forks that I wanted because all the forks these days are either tapered or they're the wrong axle size for the custom wheel that I had built. So I finally figured out a way to do it. The way to do it is to get these right here. So this headset right here is made by Canecreek, which is a 44mm, the same as my head tube. And this has an outer instead of a inner, and it makes it to where you can put a tapered fork into a non-tapered frame that is a 44mm headset. So in order for this to work, I have to modify this just slightly. See, the problem is right here, as you can see, it's very tall, and inside my frame there's a notch that won't allow it to go all the way in. And we're talking about like 2mm, if that won't go in. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and cut around this ring right here, and I'm gonna take off a little bit off the top, and then we're gonna shove it in. It's gonna work perfectly fine. So let's get into this. Oh yeah, and you can't forget your custom built Pit Viper safety glasses. There you have it. I took about 2 to 3mm off the top. That was the one that I needed to fit it inside of my frame. If you're not comfortable with this kind of stuff, I suggest not doing it. But for me, I used to work in a machine shop where we built hot rods and all kinds of stuff like that. So for me, cutting a little off the top isn't a big deal for me. So let's install it now. Tapered versus non-tapered. Straight tube all the way up and down. Tapered 1.5 inches, 1 1/8 at the top. So I forgot to mention this tool right here I bought on Amazon, and this is something that can go inside the head tube to knock out the cups. When you put it in, it goes all the way in and it encloses as you're trying to push it through. And then once it gets inside, you'll hear the teeth open up and then it's up against something. So therefore, then you can start pulling it out or hammering it out like so. And you have to make sure you get it in the right spot, otherwise it doesn't work. There we go. That was easy. And now we're gonna put in our new ones. So normally you have a tool that goes on the top and the bottom and it squeezes together and you can get your cups to go in the right way. And so I don't have that tool. So what I use is a big bolt with these big washers. And then since the cup on the bottom is bigger than the washers, because normally they fit right there on top and it'd work out perfect, but since this thing is bigger and it's oversized to fit on the bottom, the washers go inside the actual cups. So what I'm gonna do is take these two washers right here, I taped them up so they'll fit right on top of it without damaging the cup, so it can go in still the same way it was before. So that's what we're gonna do right now. So you wanna get them as lined as much as possible before you start cranking down on it so it doesn't go in all crooked. All right, well, it's all in there now. Now we just gotta take everything out and we're good to go. Now, as you can see, we have a tapered fork inside of a non-tapered frame, and it works. So now we're gonna put it all back together, we're gonna cut down the steer tube, and we're gonna ride this. All right, everyone, there you go. That's how you put a tapered fork onto a non-tapered frame. You just gotta make sure you got the right races on there. You gotta make sure that you have the right bearings. Canecreek has so many different options. I recommend going to them to find out what they have that could work for your frame. But it's possible to take a tapered fork and put it on a non-tapered frame, just like I just did right here. So I'm pretty stoked because now I have so many more fork options of things I can swap out on a frame like this. You know, when you're going through and you're looking at different forks, you got to realize there's so many different measurements you need to know. You need to know the width, you got to know the axle size, and you got to know the taper, non-tapered, straight tube, and you got to see if it's going to fit in your frame. There are so many things you have to pay attention to when it comes to that subject. Well, that's why it took me a couple weeks to figure out what would work on my bike. And then once I found the Canecreek headset, that's what made everything work for me. So I was super stoked. So had to do a slight modification to make it work, but that was okay. I do not recommend doing that yourself unless you know what you're doing, but if you can do it, awesome. And then you can make it work, and then you can put some upgraded forks on a different frame. If you like what we do here on the channel, go ahead and hit that like button. If you want to see what we're up to next, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And always remember, as usual, start small and go huge. Thanks for watching.